Roadblocks, why do they matter? In this video, I'm going to take you through the typical roadblocks, the things that can be in the way, why roadblocks are different from constraints, and exactly how you can manage them. If you're into that, and if you want a really neat checklist for you and your foreman to use in your last planner meetings, you've come to the right place. So let me first tell you, I hope you like and subscribe to this channel and like this video specifically because I'm going to give you a list of well-vetted, well-researched roadblocks. In the Canva file that we're going to link you to in the description below, you can take that, you can publish that or print it, put it up on the wall, and keep your foreman's eyes focused out ahead. Now, I've talked to you about before in another video what constraints are. If you have a train of trades flowing through the project site, which means a sequence and organization of trades as a train flowing through zones because you've broken up your project on attack time, that is a production system. Okay, so that's fantastic. Constraints are things that affect the train and the tracks that you can adjust to make the train go faster. But roadblocks are things that are out in your way ahead of the train. It would be, using the analogy, like a cow on the train tracks, or a broken set of train tracks, or weather, or something that's hindering you from flowing through those tracks well, that's hurting your trades from being able to flow through those zones and completing their work. Okay, so I hope we've got the analogy here. Roadblocks are things that really the foreman control in their short cycle daily huddles, right? And then you also notice them as a part of your zone control system. So roadblocks are things that are in the way and you either need to move it, get it, or adjust to it. Let me talk to you about those now. Number one, weather. Weather can come in the form of snow, rain, hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever the case may be. Best case scenario, keep track of your weather forecast and know when you need to adapt to your weather. You could slow down or stop your train of trades, meaning the work in the field, and you can make it safe. The key is to identify problems early and prepare for it and adjust the speed of your train of trades, meaning the speed of your work and how you do your work to accommodate weather. 2. Changes to the plan. Typically, you can't see these in their entirety. This could be owner changes, this could be design changes, this could be changes coming from a lot of different factors. You might not be able to see all of these. So as you steer your train and figure out how to control the environment and what work to do, you need to look at the change that was made and adapt to it. So that is something that you'll try to see out ahead, a roadblock that you'll try to find and remove. But if you can't, once you see it, you'll adjust to it and attempt to keep the train flowing. 3. Lack of planning. When I'm talking about lack of planning, I'm saying that trade partners or the job site as a whole has failed to plan for a specific zone or to make an environment ready. In order for us to prevent this from happening, we need to analyze whether or not our planning for specific areas from a quality and safety standpoint are done, and if not, we need it. Let's get it. And if we get that planning in enough time, we can make sure that we don't impact the speed of that train of trades or your sequence of trade partners within their work packages, and we can keep that train flowing. 4. Work area not ready. This happens when the trade partner ahead of you, the preceding trade, the predecessor, is not ready. The area is not clean, it's not inspected, the substrate is not ready and cannot be accepted, and if there isn't enough room and if things have not been demobilized. Trade partners and trade partner foremen can keep an eye on areas and look at the areas ahead of them, find this as a problem, and make sure to remove it and to get that planning and make sure that that area is made ready. 5. Permissions needed. To go into a certain area, whether it's a new build or a renovation, you may need a hot work permit, you may need a confined space permit, you may need an impact notice, a method of procedure, whatever you need. If it's a permission, notice it soon enough with your trade partner foreman and get it before it impacts work. 6. Layout. You need to make sure as foremen and as last planners, as a part of this system to see and remove roadblocks, make sure that you're noticing whether or not you have primary, secondary, and working control, or job site control, building grid line control, and actual specific layout. Ready, labeled, X, Y location, and Z elevation. Really good labeled benchmarks and grid lines and layout lines ready for the crew to start. If we don't have it, get it. 7, inspections. If you have a failed inspection, it's hard for the trade partner behind you to come in and to do their work. This is something you'll want to see and prevent. You can prevent failed inspections by really being ready, understanding the criteria, the conditions of satisfaction, talking to the inspector, doing a pre-walk, and making sure the focus is on getting that work done and letting that other trade partner in behind you. 8, something's in the way. Maybe it's a piece of equipment, or it's a dirt pile, or it's a bunk of plywood. This is one of the most common types of roadblocks. Attempt to find this roadblock soon enough because your crew is planning out ahead and remove it. And then defects. If you have defects to the work, you'll want to fix them right away. But even better than that, identify through the quality process and your quality pre-con meetings where defects can happen, make sure they don't, and clear the path for work. Let me give you a couple of more. The ones that I just talked to you about are roadblocks that happen within the zone. Let me talk to you about roadblocks that may happen early on in preparation as a part of the supply chain management or in your laydown yard that you can see even before you go to the zone. Number 1, missing information. When you go out there to check your materials, make sure you have the shop drawings, make sure you have all RFIs, make sure you have installation instructions. Right then and there is the time for you to figure out if you have missing information and go get it. Don't wait till you get to the zone. 2, missing resources. When you're in the laydown yard and managing the supply chain before you go to the zone, make sure you have the tools, the equipment, any of the motorized equipment that you need for the install. Every single thing that's needed from a mechanical standpoint before you enter the zone, confirm that while you're inspecting the materials. 3, defects. I've talked about defects before, but I'm talking about defects in the materials. Inspect the materials, inspect the prefabricated walls, inspect the pods, inspect the prefabricated MEP, inspect the pre-cut materials, and make sure there are no defects. You don't want to find that out when you're in the zone. 4, equipment issues. That's when your equipment breaks down. You might have motorized equipment that you need that you don't have, electrical equipment. Inspect that equipment before you mobilize to the zone. A good way to prevent this is to keep your equipment in good maintenance and see trends. If it's starting to break down or have trouble, don't count on it for your zone. Get the right equipment before you get there, and especially when you're gathering your materials. 5, labor shortages. This is a huge one. You want to see this way in advance. You'll want to see this in pre-con when you do your labor analysis. You'll want to see this when you're doing your projections. You'll want to see this as you're trending through your tacked wagons, and especially in that window before you ever mobilize to your zone. If you have a problem with labor, we need to fix it. We need to begin hiring. We need to source from other projects. We need to consider supplemental crews and additional help, or finding better ways to install. But a labor shortage is, we can't just get to the zone and hope for the best. It's time to raise our hand, get the GC and your trade partner support together, and see if we can fix it before it impacts your work. And lastly, site conditions. If the site is not safe, if it's not ready, if something's in the way, if there's a huge puddle, if there's a pile in your way, whatever the case may be, if the site is not ready, we need to get those make-ready items so that you can clear the path for your work. Those roadblocks I just mentioned are specifically for your staging, for your supply chain, and for your preparation efforts. So what I'm going to do is give you a beautifully formatted Canva graphic that you can publish and print and post that will help you and your trades focus on finding and removing these roadblocks before they happen to you by either getting what you need, removing it, or adapting and adjusting to it before it impacts the train. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, please like and subscribe. This will help you more than almost anything. Speed on a job site does not come from pushing, it comes from making work ready. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.